Hey, what's happening, folks? This is Gerard's Horticulture Culture.
Suffering succotash.
And we're talking about Hoyas. So my name is Gerard. I'm a plant collector. I collect a lot of plants. This channel is all about plants, plant care, plant tips, plant community. The plant community is great. I keep saying that. But today we're going to dive into the world of Hoya. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate your support and the love. And if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your tips and tricks about Hoyas and the Hoya care. Now, generally, Hoya is a big group of plants. So when you're talking about Hoya, we're talking about a wide variety of plants. Specifically, in this video, I'm going to be talking about two that you'll generally see in most of your big box stores, in your Lowe's, Home Depot, and they are generally the most easiest care Hoya species that you can get. For one, I'm going to be talking about the Hoya Obovata and the Hindu rope Hoya. Now, what I've read about the Hoya before I picked a few up is that I even checked online, and a few other Hoya heads gave a lot of good information on this particular plant. And what I've read is that it doesn't like a soggy, moisture retaining mix. You got to give it a cactus like sandy, fast draining mix with perlite, pumice, sand. You got to mix it with that. You can put a little bit of organic mix in there, but it doesn't like to be on the wet side. So when you water it, make sure the water drains pretty fast and you'll be okay with the Hoya. And that's what I've been doing with mine. I pretty much wait till the soil gets really, really dry, or if I see the leaves kind of crinkle up a little bit or, curl, and then I notice that the soil is really dry, I'll water it really fast, and then it'll pop back up the next day. Usually 2 weeks, maybe a week, depending on the humidity in the house and the time of the year. So a lot of factors play with the watering and the soil. And yeah, we'll creep into the watering. Of course, if you're going to water it with your tap, leave your tap water out overnight so it doesn't burn the plant with the chlorine in your water. It doesn't like to be wet too long because it has a reserve of water in its leaves. Now, I have fed my Hoya one time, but I backed off because it was approaching the winter. And I've also read that you should not feed your plant in the winter because it could burn the roots, and it's just not ready for the growth rate because the winter, the temperature cools down.
Winter is coming. We know what's coming with it.
And heat gets these things back in action because that's where they belong, in the tropics. So I don't feed my Hoya in the winter. I only feed it in the spring, and usually I still do the 1-2-2 mix, all organic mix that I usually feed most of my plants with. Now, for sunlight, the plant does best in bright locations. So an east or west facing window, it should do fine. It'll even flower for you. I haven't got mine to flower yet, but I'm waiting because I have it in a east facing window where it gets a good amount of light, but about 6 or 8 hours of light. But I'm waiting for a flower, and that'll tell me that I'm getting the perfect light for it to pop one of those flowers out. The Hoya Obovata I just actually put in the window as well, so I should see some type of results with that. I had it in the back on with these grow lights in the back, but I decided to step it up and put it and give it its natural light, because natural light gives it its best growing, I would say, best growing performance with natural light rather than your artificial light. It grows better in natural light. So if you could get it in a window, try to put it in a window, but it may do, you know, okay, and you know, an indoor setting where you got artificial light, it's going to be okay. So don't worry about that. Humidity, it's not really fussy with humidity, so you can get away with not using a humidifier or spraying the leaves. It's okay. The plant doesn't really need that much attention like a calathea or a fern. It's pretty tough because, like I said, it holds a reserve of water, a nice size reserve of water, because the leaves are so thick. So it doesn't need that type of humidity addition with the growing. Now for the pot size, the plant likes to be root bound, so you can leave it in a pot for a good amount of time, maybe I would say 2 summers, 3. You could try 3 and maybe get away with it, but if you see, you know, roots starting to pop out from the bottom, then you can change it up. But I haven't changed mine yet, but that's what I've read, so don't quote me on that. But I am going to keep mine root bound because that's generally what I've been hearing online and in books. So I'm going to do a soil change only in the spring, but I'll keep both of my Hoyas in the same pot, because I know, and like I said, most of my research is they like to be root bound, so we're gonna keep it bound with root until it starts to pop out of that thing, and you know, maybe I'll move it then. We'll see what happens. Now, what I've been noticing that I have been getting with my Hindu rope a lot of growth this summer. It's first summer that it's been with me. My Hoya Obovata I got late summer, so I only got one little shoot that's coming out that I had in my grow lights, but like I said, I just transitioned it to a window to see what that should do for the plant and see if I get any difference as far as the natural lighting. So this summer you'll be updated on the growth rate of both of my Hoya Obovata and the Hindu rope. I'll do a couple plant hauls, which I need to do a plant haul really soon, just to show you guys what's going on with the crew with Gerard's Horticulture Culture. Now, if you choose to prune the plant, don't prune too much, because you could stop any flowers from progressing and growing. So prune it lightly, get rid of any dead growth. You always want to remove dead growth from any plant, because that could start fungus. I usually remove a yellowing leaf, something old. I usually get rid of it because I know it's just gonna, you know, it's just things happen. The plant's gonna get rid of those older leaves. So if you decide to prune your Hoya, make sure you do it in the spring or summer, but really lightly, because like I said, it does have some nice looking flowers that I've seen on a lot of different YouTubers that have displayed their Hoya flowers on Instagram and such. So I'll also keep you updated if I get a flower, you know, to see if something happens with my Hindu rope or the Obovata. Now for temperature, the ranges of the plant for Hoyas is usually whatever is good for you in your living space, whether you keep it at like 68 to 74 to 75, that's a good range. But if you're comfortable, whatever, you know, temperature you're at, the Hoyas are going to be okay at as well. Of course, it's going to grow a little faster in the summer because it's a little hotter and the days are longer. So you will notice that you'll get a little bit more growth in the summer. But don't worry about the heating as well. If you got it in the office, and it usually stays like 68 or something like that. But as long as you get it with some bright light, you should be okay. Mine, I have it in a east-west facing window, so it's getting bright natural light. Like I said, I just put my Hoya Obovata out there, so I'm expecting to see some type of flowering this spring or summer, but I'll keep you updated on that. And like I said, this is a general care for Hoyas. I'm specifically talking about the Hoya Obovata and the Hindu rope. There's other types of Hoyas out there. There's the Hoya Carry, there's the Hoya Carnosa. There's all types of Hoyas out there. And what I've also read is that they're vining plants, so they're pretty tough. They are native to the tropics, and they're a beautiful plant. Now for the pests for the Hoya Obovata and the Hindu rope, I did hear it is prone to mealybug, aphids, and scale. So I'll be on the lookout for that. I did have it with the other couple plants like my begonia, cane begonias, but I used a systemic pesticide and that knocked them things down so quick. It was the best thing ever. I don't know why I didn't do it at first. I tried the neem oil. That was all good, but it just didn't knock them out. Then I did the diatomaceous earth, and lastly I just said let's just do the systemic pesticide because I was having, you know, aphids everywhere, so I had to use the systemic, and that did the job for all of my plants. I don't have to worry anymore. That's a go-to pesticide, even though it is toxic and you can't ingest it and you got to watch what you're doing with your hands, but it's a great tool to use when you're taking care of plants and you got pests eating up your plants or sucking the life out of your plants. You don't have to worry about it too much because that systemic pesticide is the truth. Now for all you cat lovers and animal lovers, this plant is not toxic, so it's a great plant to have if you have a cat or something that likes to munch on plants. I myself do not have a cat. Pretty much it on the Hoya Care for what I've read and watched and researched for this specific Hindu rope and the Hoya Obovata. They are really nice looking plants for any space. They got different types of textures, not what you're used to. I'm big on like the textures and the shape of the leaves because it looks like art to me. I call it living art because that's what it is. It's always changing. It never stays the same. Statues that you see, they look nice after a while, but they're always the same. But plants, they always show you something different and they keep enhancing the growth. That's what I love about plants, that they just keep changing and getting better and better and bigger and nicer and nicer. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Leave a comment about Hoyas. What do you guys feel about the Hoyas? If you have any other tips that you can add to this video, I would appreciate you adding them in the comment section below. I wish you guys all well. I wish your plants all well, and keep growing.